Good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope all of you are fit and fine. In our previous class, we have seen that how Mrs. Fizzard and Mrs. Pearson were talking. And which chapter we were discussing in our previous class? Mother's Day. And this play was written by J.B. Priestley. And we have seen that, okay, you have seen the whole play. Tell me, who is the mother of Doris and Cyril? Because this thing we have been learning for many days, and we have seen that actually in this play only 4 to 5 only 5 or 6 characters are there, and the whole play revolves around this only. Anyone can tell who is the mother of Doris Pearson and Cyril Pearson? And the mother of Doris and Cyril Pearson was Mrs. Annie Pearson. Okay. Mrs. Annie Pearson was the mother of Cyril and Doris Pearson. Cyril Pearson and Doris Pearson. In this play, main character is of Mrs. Annie Pearson, Mrs. Fizzard, George Pearson, Cyril Pearson, Doris Pearson. And this play revolves around the behavior, attitude of children towards their mother. That's why the play name is only Mother's Day. Okay. Let's continue our chapter. And Mrs. Pearson gave order to her daughter, Miss Doris Pearson, that behave properly to Mrs. Fizzard, otherwise go upstairs, because she had not behaved properly in front of the Mrs. Fizzard, and she had said that what to do with you, that you are so much worried that today I will go with Charlie Spence or not. And this behavior was not accepted as a good behavior. That's why, and Mrs. Annie Pearson teached a good lesson to Doris Pearson, that you should behave properly, otherwise go upstairs. No, George is going to deliver his dialogue. George is in despair. Now George is very sad here. That's why George says that don't look at me, because when Mrs. Pearson had scolded Doris Pearson that behave properly in front of Mrs. Fizzard and talk properly in a correct way to Mrs. Fizzard, otherwise go upstairs. And this behavior was seen first time by her mother. And when he sees this, and when Doris sees this behavior, then she was shocked. And because of this, she looked towards her father, that my father is also not saying anything to my mother. And then George, in despair, in sadness, said to her daughter that don't look at me. Don't look at me. I give it up. I just give it up. Now George Pearson said that daughter Doris, don't look with such hope towards me. Don't look at me with such hope, because I have given my effort to change your mother, but I was failed. That's why don't look towards me with such hope that I can stop your mother. Mrs. Pearson was fiercely. Well, no, Mrs. Pearson said, well, good. Answer her. No, she said to the George Pearson that your daughter is looking towards you only. Answer her. Doris, sulkily. No, Doris, sulkily. I was going out with Charlie Spence tonight, but now I have called it off. No, Doris says that I was going out with Charlie Spence tonight, but now I have called it off. Now I have cancelled this party. Now, because her mood, her behavior, everything was spoiled. That's why she said that now I'm not going out with Charlie Spence tonight. I've cancelled my planning. Mrs. Fizzled, oh, what a pity, dear. Why have you? And we have seen that maximum time also. In our life also we have seen that by our decision, our guardian, our mother, father gets affected by most. By our decision, our mother and fathers, or we can say that our guardian get mostly influenced, get mostly affected by our what we say that by our decision making power. Because when a child gives some command to herself or to himself, then father or mother start thinking that why this type of command she is doing, why such type of command she is giving. Because earlier Doris was fully prepared to go out with Doris Pearson, with Charlie Spence, but now she is saying that I call it off. Means now Mrs. Fizzle, who was actually her mother, was very much affected, because the decision which was taken by Doris was taken due to the emotion. That's why Mrs. Fizzle says that, why dear, why have you decided such thing? Means actually you have fully prepared to go outside, then why you have taken such type of decision? Doris with a flash of temper, because actually she doesn't like Doris Pearson, she doesn't like Mrs. Fizzle. That's why she looks towards her with angry face, that again this lady interfered in my matter. Doris with a flash of temper, with an anger face, she looked towards Mrs. Fizzle. Doris, because if you must know, now again, and we have seen that the person to whom we doesn't like, the moment we will see that person, our mood gets changed, our mood gets spoiled. In the same way here, Doris doesn't like Mrs. Fizzle. That's why the moment she says something, the moment she interferes something, Doris get angry. That's why with a flash of temper, with a flash of angry face, she looks towards Mrs. Fizzle with a flash of temper, and she said that, Doris said that, because if you must know. And she said that dear lady, You must know why I have taken this decision. My mother's been going on at me making. My mother's been going on at me making me feel miserable and saying he's got buck teeth and is half-witted. Now she said that you must know why I am not going outside, why I have decided to cancel my party. You must know that my mother going on at me making me. Me making means Doris want to say that my mother me making me. She said that my mother is me making me means my mother is embarrassing me. Me making means feeling of embarrassment. Me making means feeling of embarrassment. Doris says that you must know why I am not going outside, Mrs. Fizzard, because my mother me making me. My mother is embarrassing me to go out with Charlie pence because she said that Charlie pence have buck teeth. Means you have seen the rabbit, the two teeth of rabbit you have seen that are always outside. The person whose teeth comes outside, that person is known as buck teeth. And she said that Mrs. Fizzard, my mother is saying that Charlie Spence has buck teeth, means his teeth had been seen outside, his teeth had came out, and he is half-witted, and he is half intelligent, means he is not an intelligent person, and he had a buck teeth. And with such person, you want to go outside. That's why he said that my mother criticized my friend Charles Spence like this. That's why I have decided that I will not go outside. Mrs. Fizzled, rather bolder, to Mrs. Pearson. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Now Mrs. Fizzle had started. See, one thing you notice that the person who is very much innocent, but the day when that person becomes angry, then it is very much worse thing. That day is the worst day for the opposite party because when the innocent person becomes angry, then no one can control. Here we have seen that Mrs. Pearson is an innocent lady. But when Mrs. Fizzle asked, why dear, why you have said such things? You shouldn't said all these things to my daughter. Then we have got the knowledge that mother or father, or we can say the guardian, never wants the child should be unhappy. That's why Mrs. Fizzle said that Mrs. Pearson, you shouldn't said all these things to Doris Pearson. Mrs. Pearson sharply, now because Mrs. Pearson, who had the personality of Mrs. Fizzle, and she always gave answers sharply, very fluently. Mrs. Pearson sharply, Mrs. Fizzle, I will manage my family, you manage yours. Now Mrs. Pearson again gives the guidelines, again gives the direction to Mrs. Pearson that you manage your family, Mrs. Fizzle, and I will manage my family. Don't interfere in my family matters. Mrs. Pearson said to the Mrs. Fizzle that I will manage my family, you manage yours. George, grimly, George was very sad. Taking her off now, are you any? George seeing all this type of behavior, he said that are you any? He asked the question that are you any means are you my wife? Are you my wife? Who is so innocent? She had changed in a sudden way. How my wife had changed. How rudely she is talking to other person. That's why George Pearson said that, are you my wife? Are you any? Who is so innocent. But within a night, that lady had totally changed. Mrs. Pearson even more grimly. Now Mrs. Pearson, after hearing all this type of dialogue from her husband, she even become more angry. She even become more grimly. She even become more unhappy. And let's see what Mrs. Pearson is going to speak. Mrs. Pearson, they were waiting for you at the club. George, don't forget, and don't you start crying again. Doris. Now Mrs. Pearson said that you are about to go to your club. Then why you have not gone to your club? You should move forward towards your club. And Doris, don't start crying like a small baby. It is better to be keep quiet. Mrs. Fizzle. Now Mrs. Fizzle says that getting up with sudden decision, that's enough, quite enough. Now Mrs. Fizzle had seen the rude behavior of Mrs. Pearson in front of her family members. Now Mrs. Fizzle is totally angry. Now Mrs. Pearson had fully decided that now I am going to change our personality, our soul. That's why Mrs. Fizzle said that that's enough, quite enough. That's why Mrs. Fizzle said that with sudden decision, with such type of decision you are taking to my family members, they are not happy, they are very much unhappy, they are very much sad, and you are saying all this type of thing. That's enough. Means what you are saying, that is too much, and I can't tolerate all this thing. And after that, George and Doris stare at her bewildered, and while they are seeing each other, it is confirmed that the role which they are performing are not up to the mark. That's why Mrs. Fizzle said that it is quite enough, Mrs. Pearson. It is quite enough. Miss, you are crossing your limit, Mrs. Pearson. In George and Doris, no, and there George and Doris were standing. No, listen you two. No, Mrs. Pearson said that, listen you two. Listen you two means listen George and Doris. You two, I want to have a private little talk with Mrs. Fizzle. And we have seen, and Mrs. Pearson had also got the knowledge from the tone, from the words, what we say that, words pitch, words presentation, how Mrs. Fizzle had used the word, that's enough, quite enough. Means whenever we hear the voice, whenever we hear the speech, from that speech, from the voice only, we get the knowledge that the person who is speaking this thing is happy, or that person is angry, or that person is a foolish person. In the same way, the way Mrs. Fizzle had told to Mrs. Pearson that it is quite enough. That's why Mrs. Pearson said to the Doris and George that please give us some personal time, give us some give us some minutes for a private talk with Mrs. Fizzard. She corrects herself hastily with Mrs. Pearson. So I will be obliged if you will leave us alone for a few minutes. And now Mrs. Pearson had got the intuition, had got the mindset that Mrs. Fizzle is not happy by her behavior. That's why she said to George and Doris that please give us, or please leave us alone. Please leave us alone for a minute because we want to talk in a private. I will let you know when we have finished. And now Mrs. Pearson said that George and Doris, please leave us alone. Please leave me and Mrs. Fizzard alone. We want to have a private conversation. We want to talk alone. So please leave us alone. And when our meeting will be over, when our conversation will be over, we will inform you. Go on, please. I promise you that you won't regret it. And she said that, please go. And I know that you don't forget your promise that you will go outside. There's something here that only I can deal with. And she said that there is something which is going on, and this thing only I can handle it. George rising, I am glad somebody can, cause I can't come on Doris. Now George is saying that I am glad somebody can call me as Doris. And George said that he will be glad that you will call me and Doris. George and Doris exit left, and George and Doris was standing there. They exit left side. They have gone left side. As they go, Mrs. Fizzle moves to left of the small table and sit. And the moment when they have gone, Mrs. Fizzle moves to left of the small table. Means Mrs. Fizzle comes towards the left side of the table, small table, and she sits there. She eagerly beckoned Mrs. Pearson to do something. Now Mrs. Fizzle requested Mrs. Pearson to change their soul, their personality back to their original body. She eagerly beckons. What is the word becoming? Now she eagerly beckons Mrs. Pearson to do something. Beckon means to make a gesture with the hand or arm or head, like we say yes, good, change. Beckon means a type of gesture with the hand, head or arms to encourage or to instruct someone, okay, in order to give the consent, okay. That's why it was said that Mrs. Fizzard beckons, means Mrs. Pearson gives the gesture from his hand that to change the personality and comes back to their original body. Mrs. Fizzard says that, Mrs. Fizzard, we must change back now. We really must. And Mrs. Fizzard said that we must change our personality back to our own body, and it is very much necessary to change our personality. Do it right now.